Hey guys, welcome to the free digital marketing masterclass. The masterclass that seriously doesn't want to be at this point. Anyway, let's say this is recording 5 of this. Besides the point, I'm just going to say to you straight off the bat that this is my idea. I came to this completely by myself through working as a digital marketer on multiple products, projects, etc. And secondly, I hope this helps someone out. Okay, let's get into it. Yeah, listen, just be yourself when it comes to digital marketing. Be authentic. Don't go and be don't think that digital marketing needs to be what we used to see or do see on TV ads that are so polished and have these huge budgets. It's not digital marketing. Digital marketing is way looser and more authentic. People buy from people. They don't want to buy from a production company, especially when you're working with social media and that kind of thing. Be more authentic. Okay, let's get into the next one. Another note just on the authentic side, something that comes up for me a lot is do the things you love. If you don't love doing digital marketing, get someone that loves it or has a passion about it for you. I think we're moving into a time and space where we no longer are compelled to do work just because it pays money. We are going into more of a heart space. We are moving into a different paradigm. And therefore, if this does not float your boat, don't do it. Go find something that does float your boat. And if it's your product that you're trying to get out there and you just really can't stand digital marketing and you're watching this masterclass because you're thinking this is a great way to get my head around it, that's great. I hope it helps you out. But I also want to tell you something. If this doesn't, if you don't have the passion for this, find someone that does have the passion for it and someone that can do it from their heart. Because when you do a campaign from a place of no joy, of no heart, it's not going to be as effective as one that comes from the heart. And yeah, that's what I have to say before I move into this. Yes. So let's have a look at it. We start with planning, which is number 1, and then we have strategy and the traffic plan, number 3, preparation and build, number 4, execution, number 5, the sale, number 6, and after sales, number 7. This is the 7-step formula. On this note, just outside of this is project management and mindset. Keep that in mind. I have not put them in here because I feel that they actually sit above the spider diagram. So if you're looking at how to project manage it, you need to look at this from the top and put it together so someone has a handle of everything that's going on. And some companies will need this, some companies won't. Just putting it out there. And the other one is a mindset. There is a growth mindset and there's a fixed mindset. If you go out there and try this and it doesn't work the first time, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means you're learning by failing. And that's the best way to learn, right? So get out there and do it again and again. I failed with digital marketing so badly in the beginning, and I still fail on many areas of it. However, I keep on being prepared to learn from my mistakes. And digital marketing is one of those things. It's probably not going to work for you the first time around. And that's when I say to you, well, get up and try again. And in the next iteration, it'll probably work better. And if you would rather use someone to do it for you, get hold of someone like me or someone that knows what they're doing and get them to do it for you, because that's also a strategy and a probably more effective one. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So, why me? Why would you trust me to tell you about digital marketing? I'm quickly going to go through a brief history of what I've experienced and why I feel I can help you. I worked in corporate as an interior designer, and I worked for myself as an interior designer for over 30 years, building corporates. So I come from a very corporate background where advertising was done very differently back then. And I got to a point in my interior design career that I just got bored with it. A. And B, I was also wondering if I could market it better. Not quite sure. Being a bit confused in my life, basically. And went on this digital marketing journey and met a whole lot of people through it and changed my mind in 2018 to actually try and help other entrepreneurs understand digital marketing better, because it took me a long time to figure it out. And I've kind of been on that mission ever since, is how to help people understand digital marketing. So yeah, like I did a whole bunch of courses. I did a course with Judy Chanel on digital marketing, and then I got involved in her mastermind, and it was based in the States. And I even flew over and met with people. It was an incredible experience, an incredible learning curve. From there, kind of COVID hit just after that experience, and I had to find a job, as a lot of people had to at that point. My interior design business died, and so did my fledgling little marketing business. And because of that, I actually got some interesting jobs and ended up working for very interesting people. I worked for Elite, which is Neil Milan, and he had a huge digital marketing course that he was selling for over 80,000 Rand, which I got to do because I was working with them. Also learned how to do media buying in a really, I had the knowledge in my head, but I'd never worked in such a real life experience around spending a company's money on media, Facebook ads and YouTube ads specifically, and seeing the results and working against certain parameters. It was a fascinating experience, because it's all very well and good to have the information in your head, but when you're sitting there and you're watching conversions and how it's affecting your call center, and that people are feeding back that they're either getting too many calls or too little calls, and it's your job basically to keep them busy but not too busy, it changes the way you see media buying. So there is that side of it. Okay. And from there, I got involved with a software called Go High Level, as it actually was one of the first times you could, within the digital marketing sphere, you could actually have something like a website, a funnel, automations, and a calendar all in the same place. Whereas before, we would have had the click funnels for the funnels, and we would have had like Active Campaign for the emails, and then have a membership on another site, and would all be duct taped together with zaps and a whole bunch of stuff. Whereas Go High Level brought it all into one place. And as a result of that, I worked worldwide with a lot of companies in South Africa, in the USA, in the UK, and in Australia, with Go High Level, helping them set it up and teaching people digital marketing around Go High Level. Now, this is not a Go High Level masterclass. This is a digital marketing masterclass. I'm just explaining to you how I got to this point and how I got to these ideas that I'm putting down on here for you. And also, it is a mission of mine to help as many people, entrepreneurs, as possible to demystify and simplify digital marketing and seeing it from this perspective. Okay. So why digital marketing? Let me just quickly cover. There's the old ways of marketing. Why digital marketing? There are old ways of marketing and there are new ways of marketing. The old ways that I'm talking about in the last century, Fab. The old ways were TV ads, magazine ads, and newspaper or radio. That's how you would buy media back in those days, and that's how you would advertise. The new way of marketing is now buying ads on Facebook, on YouTube, etc., on social media. There's also other ways like blogs and those kind of things. The traditional ways still exist. It's just that digital marketing is really the focus on this new way of marketing. It's using the online space to market. That's really what digital marketing means. So it does not involve having a billboard or a TV ad. Also, at the same token, I'd like to tell you, as an interior designer, I always had to find innovative ways back in those days to market myself. And I was once approached by a magazine to do a 5-page spread. and it was back, I would say, 1995-ish, could be. And they wanted 10,000 Rand a page. So they approached me to do an article on me that I had to pay them for. Okay, if that makes sense. That's how marketing was back in the day. These days, it's just so much more easier because on a 50,000 Rand budget in today's day, I would be able to be in front of a whole lot more people than that one magazine. It's a monthly edition. It was a high-end interior design magazine, but it was 1 month, and maybe someone would see me. There's hardly any reach on that. So it's just to give you an idea where the old marketing was and what new marketing can do and the reach you can get from that kind of stuff. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to use flying a kite as an analogy to digital marketing. So have you ever flown a kite? It's not all that easy. I needed someone to teach me how, and even then I need practice to keep my kite in the air. Just like that, digital marketing is a competitive market. Once you have your kite in the air, it is jostling for attention with the other kites. So it's really my intention to teach you how to fly your digital marketing kite. And not to have your kite crash into the ground like it does with most people when they try this. And to show you how to stabilize your kite and the components of your kite. But first, why does a kite need a tail? I'm going to get back to that in a second. I want to go back here for a second. Do you see how all over the place these kites are, and it's very difficult to see where you're going? What I want to go into quickly is this is what I would like your kite to look like. When you've done it properly, you've got all your components in place, and you've got your tails to each kite to stabilize them, etc., working all together in harmony. And that takes me to why does a kite need a tail, right? Why am I talking about these bits of tails? So it says, adding a tail to a kite helps make the kite fly more stably by adding some much needed drag, which pulls the kite back in the direction the wind is going, to the lower back area of the kite. So basically, it helps to stabilize the kite. I also read somewhere that without a tail, the kites tend to flip in the wind and roll. Okay, so it pulls it and stabilizes it. So we have a digital marketing flag that needs stabilization, and within that digital marketing flag we have 7 other flags that need stabilization. So I'm using the kite's tail analogy to show you how these components will help each kite to fly. Okay, so we're going to go back past that guy, and these are the 7 kites and our main kite, right? So here's our digital marketing kite. And within this kite, we have planning, strategy, traffic plan, prep, build, execution, sale, and after sales. We've gone through this a few times. I've shown you this already. I'm just putting in the kite analogy. Nothing new here, right? Let's move on to our next one. So let's look at planning, the planning phase as the first kite. What does this kite need to be able to be up there and flying perfectly and stabilized? It needs branding. Ensure you have a branding involved. Plan it in the planning phase or make sure you have it. What is a brand? It is a logo, your colors, what your brand stands for, like its voice, that kind of stuff. So know your branding or have a brand or design a brand, get that sorted. Second of all is you must know what the objective is of this particular marketing campaign. Okay. Is it to drive traffic to a particular landing page? Or is it to sell a product or service? Or is it to build your list? Know what that objective is. Okay. The next one is market survey. Have you done a market survey? And have you checked that there is a need for your particular service or product? I can tell you a quick shortcut to know. And the best way to tell is to see how many competitors you have before you start putting your product out there. As by the law of absolute everything, if something is out there, there will be a ton of people providing that service. So there'll be a lot of competitors. Okay. The value ladder. The value ladder, very quickly, is just that your lowest value offering is at the bottom and your highest value offering is at the top. I can go into this in a lot of detail. I will in a future masterclass, but that's your value ladder. Product or service. Is it a product? Is it a service? Make the decision. Have it right there. And then the last one is your offer. And I just want to double check something here. Okay. Is your offer. And define what that offer is. Is it a free offer? Is it a paid offer? What type of offer is it? Is it a online offer? Is it a that they need to be shipped a product, etc.? Just understand your offer, define it. I can also go into the offer. It's quite a big part, but know your offer. Okay, moving on. Strategy. Let's talk about the strategy flag. Okay, the parts of the strategy flag, its tail, that makes us a very strong and stable strategy are the following. Ideal client avatar, the ICA. Know who your ideal client is, have an avatar in mind, and have several avatars if you have several different products and services. The next one is the customer's journey. Know your customer's journey. Know where in your customer's journey they should become aware of you and why, and know how you to market to them in that space. Number 3, get to know your funnel type. What type of funnel are you going to be using in your strategy? Now, when you back in your planning, you went to the offer. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my mouse here. There, you would know from there what type of funnel you're going to use. Is it a lead gen funnel, a SLO funnel, a webinar funnel, a launch funnel, an event funnel, a free plus shipping funnel? You get my point. Which funnel would you use? So at this point, you decide on the funnel type. And your offer will determine this funnel type. Your traffic plan. This is a very, very important part of your strategy, is knowing the traffic, knowing how you are going to be bringing it in. So have a strategy of what your traffic plan will be. This is so important, it's the next step. So let's leave it for now. Moving on to marketing math. Marketing math is, there's formulas around marketing, and I'm just going to give you an example. This is not, don't take it out of context. It is not the actual math. I'm giving it to you as an example. You have a webinar and you get 1,000 people signing up for your webinar. Maybe 500 of those people arrive to the actual webinar, and out of that, because of marketing math, you'll be able to say that I will sell 3 of my products off of that webinar. Just an example, but that's marketing math. So understanding marketing math is a good strategy because it will determine your traffic plan, and it will determine how much you're going to spend on your traffic plan, which we'll go into next. Okay. So let's look at messaging plan. At this point, you want to define how you're going to message. Is it email? Is it you're going to be using social media messaging? Are you going to be using SMS or WhatsApp? That kind of messaging. Blog posts. Understand what your messaging plan is. And then your launch plan. Think about your launch, when you want to launch. You could plan to launch over Black Friday, for example. Things like that. So plan the launch. Your automation plan what automations you're going to need in order for this launch to go successfully. Like, in other words, if this person buys my product, are they going to get an email explaining to them how to use this X product? Okay. Then sales plan. This is basically understanding that there is a sales process and what is the plan when a sale happens. First of all, what payment merchant are you using, and also what happens after a sale is made. right? Where does it go? Who deals with it? And then a no sales plan, which is just looking at people that were interested and they put your article in their cart, but they never paid for it. How are you going to address those people and nurture them to maybe get to a sale? So yeah, that is your strategy kite and the tail that needs to go with it. So let's move on to the next slide, which is our traffic plan. Okay, so in order for our traffic plan kite to fly high and be stable, it needs these guys in its tail. It needs a CRM. A CRM is a client relationship manager. You need to know, you would know if you have an existing list, but how you would use your existing list if you have one. And if you're going to market to an existing list, you also want to know if you're going to be using organic or paid marketing on your social medias. And you also want to know your marketing platforms, like are you going to be using the social platforms like Facebook and Instagram and etc., or are you going to be using that in combination with other platforms like search? You can use Google Ads, blogging, and networking. Just knowing what and where you're going to be putting this here. And a good example for this would be like you're planning a launch, and 4 weeks before the launch you're going to start putting one ad a day on Facebook, and then 2 weeks you're going to have 3 weeks out, you're going to do one on Facebook, Insta, and YouTube, and by the last week you're going to be on all of the platforms and written 5 blogs about it. It's just an example of how you want to plan out this whole process, right? The next one is just on note on that, sorry, I had a thought. Also, knowing your ideal client beforehand would help you plan this out a whole lot better, and knowing your customer's journey. So this is how you can see that these stack on top of each other. Okay, right, moving on. You also want to know your content strategy. What type of content are you going to be using? Is it text or video, images, etc.? You want to know your content creation, like what, who, and the timeline. Your content creation is, in other words, working it out so you can schedule it, so you knowing, as I was saying in the last comment around knowing exactly where you're putting stuff out 4 weeks out, is also being able to schedule that and get it on the scheduling and know who's going to be doing that. Who is the person that's handling that, right? And then the last one down here, part of your traffic plan, is a new list. Through doing these things, you're going to create a new list. So at this point, you also want to know what you're going to do with the people that are at the new list level. What are they? What are you going to do with that new list? Are you going to market to them? Are you going to just let them be there? Or are you going to send them other marketing from your other funnels? No, plan that out. Okay, so the next one, this is a big kite. This is the build and prep kite. Yeah, this is a big boy. And this is where, or what, most people think digital marketing is. This is your website, your funnel, your forms, your copywriting, your content creation. Now, as you can see, this is only one step in a 7-step process that I'm putting together. And this is part of what I'm trying to show, is that there's way more to digital marketing than our website. I cannot tell you how many clients I've had that I've asked their strategy, and it is, my strategy is a website. And that's great. It's an SEOing it, so lots of people come to it. But that's not a strategy. That is not, when someone buys from you, how you're going to nurture them. That is not building a particular sales page for a particular product that's going to convert more customers. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing with digital marketing. You want to convert more customers, and knowing the right ways to do it is going to help you. And this is what I'm trying, or hopefully doing for you guys. So let's have a look at these guys on the tail, right? So we have product build. By this point, you should know what you are marketing, whether it's a product or a service, and you should have built it out. For example, if you're doing a webinar, go and build the slides, like the ones I'm using now. Go build those slides. That's the product, and go and write the webinar, right? Make sure that is built. Number 2 is the website build. So, and your funnel build. This is where you're going to look at SEOing and using your analytics and your cookies and tracking. You'll use it at this point. So as I was saying, this is where most people think their whole marketing strategy is this. As you can see, this is a subsection of what you need, what digital marketing fully embodies. Okay, so I'm trying to give you the idea. So on this as well, we have the form or survey, having trouble speaking, form or survey build. This part is obviously where it's going to be built. If you need forms for your website, so you would have decided at this point, I'm using this funnel and needs 3 forms. So this is where you build the forms, and this is where you'll build your emails that are part of your automations, which is your next flag over there. So you want to know how many emails you're going to send in each automation and make sure those get built, make sure the automation gets built, and the emails get put into the automation. Build out your pipelines so you know when people are moving through them and what stage they are. Build out your calendars and build out your no sale plan build. In other words, what are you going to do when someone buys from you? What are you going to do when people don't buy from you? Build out those automations. Build out those emails. Make sure that is all done. There's a lot of work here. But this is the crux of digital marketing, but it's also can only happen after you have a strategy, if that makes sense. Don't go and build your website and then go and look at your strategy and see, I want to market this product. But in the meantime, you spend 3 months when you open your business just building a website. This is what most people do. There is a strategy around how you can build your business online by using the value ladder and by starting at step 1. If you get nothing else from this masterclass, I hope you get that. Just go get someone to do your strategy, or buy a course on doing strategy, or do it. Don't just build a website. You're going to spend a fortune on it and never make any money out of it. Okay, gripe over. So there's in the automation build, you want to look at your email creation, your mobile marketing messaging creation, and actual building of the actual automation, and your sales automations. Okay, then on the other side, yeah, by the pink ones, where you need things like a content creation. So you need to go and make all the content for all of these things that you need for your website, your social media posts, etc. Also, your images and image procurement and your copywriting and how you're going to schedule those. But after you've made all that content, scheduling it for you. At this point, you might even look at a product refinement because you've realized that you were too ambitious and you were trying to sell 16 different products, and you only need to sell one at a time and need to go through this process for one product at a time. So you might just go, okay, I'm just going to look at this one product right now and go through this process again. I suggest you go back to stage 1 at this point. But anyway, just my 2 cents, right? The next one is your payment gateways. You need to know what they are. Don't build a whole amazing, beautiful thing or webinar, and the last 10 minutes before your webinar, you realize you don't have a payment gateway set up. Bad idea. Make sure that is done, and make sure you've tested this well in advance on that said webinar. Don't test it the half an hour before you're going live. Testing, it's a huge part of this tale, and I promise you, that build and prep guy will fall to the ground without that testing guy. He's that important. Yeah. Let's look at our next slide. Hey, it's the execution kite. At this point, you've got everything ready. You've got everything built. You've got everything just poised to go. And you're confident because you've tested it. And now you can press the almighty green let's go button because you are so confident that everything is going to go according to plan with your automations, with your social media marketing. It's all planned and set up. Your emails are all being written. Your copyright's all there. It's all sitting there, and you know it's going to work really well. You're not launching with half a funnel and half of the copy written, that kind of thing. So remember, it has taken 4 steps to get to this 5th step. Now, in my experience, this is what when people come and see me, is what they want, and they wanted it yesterday. As you can tell, it does not happen overnight. People think it does, but there's a lot of planning to get you. Like, I look at it from my interior design experience is that a lot of planning went into those processes. That's what I did. I sat in and drew on AutoCAD layers upon layers of tiles and electrical and ceiling and lighting layouts that had to work together. And only when I had those plans ready could I get a proper quote. Because without those drawings, no one can tell me how many meters of electrical wire they're going to need or how many running meters of drywall is required to complete the project, I should say. This is the same with digital marketing. At this point, you must have that plan and everything ready. It's almost as if you look at the interior design analogy, at this point, you have built all the kitchen cupboards, you have bought all the fittings and fixtures that are going in, and you're just going to press play and it's all going to fall into place because you've planned it so well that as soon as the carpet guy walks off site, the drywall guy is going to arrive and it's all going to work seamlessly. It's a bad example, but you see what I'm trying to say. Now, let's look at this execution. What you need is your launch plan. We've done that. Your traffic plan, you've got that. And your automation plan, it's been done. This is the one thing that's so nice about the execution phase. You've actually planned it all, right? The only things you want to watch here is obviously watch how it's going so you know how to iterate if you want to further down the line. You can say, okay, this didn't work. What can we do differently next time? And split testing, which is when you basically split test a headline. You're using two different headlines and seeing which funnel does better. That's what you want to do at this point. So you're just going to manage and watch. It's a great point. Okay, so our next one is the sale. Now, and this is where things get interesting because a lot of people say that sales is not part of digital marketing. In a way it isn't, and in a way it is. So you should have already looked at your sales strategy, your sale automations, your payment gateways, your refund policies, your no sale strategies, and your after sale strategies. They should all be in place. So when a sale happens, everything is working perfectly, and that sale kite is flying beautifully and high with this beautiful tail on it. But if you don't have your payment gateway ready and someone makes a sale or so it just crashes and they can't make a sale and they put in their credit card number and they just can't make the sale, or they make the sale and you don't have the email set up that's delivering the product to them, you've not done so well in your digital marketing strategy. So the sale is usually important. Okay, so let's move on to number 7. This is the after sales kite. This guy is the guy that's going to look after your customers that have already bought from you. And it's also the part that a lot of people, most people, almost everybody, neglects because all they're thinking of is the sale. However, this is where you're going to provide customer service and have a platform of helping people and supporting people. You can have social and community, especially because it's online. This plays into the whole digital marketing construct, is that now you can have a social page and a community that has bought your product and you can sit there and help them as support in that community or employ someone, whatever works for you. But you get where I'm saying, coming from with this. So yes, this is part of your customer service, is a community that you can service them. And what is your customer support? Do you have a support plan? Do you have staff, or do you have a automation set up that as soon as someone contacts support, that it notifies you straight away that there is a problem and you can support them if you're a small enough company? Okay, feedback. You also want to create a feedback loop. That's also part of digital marketing. You're going to go in there and build things like surveys, and you can ask them to give you a Google review or ask them for a testimonial, which you can use on your websites or your funnels moving forward. So you build a feedback loop and you automate this within a system so that this gets done automatically, and you are creating the feedback. And also what you want to do is use that feedback to make your product better, to iterate your product, right? It's also that you can use it for. Okay, the next one is loyalty. By supporting and having customer service and creating the feedback loop, you're going to foster loyalty. And through loyalty, you're going to sell more of your products. Simple. And you can also decide what you want to do with these people that you've sold to. Do you want to upsell them or maybe downsell them at this point? And also you're building a new list of people that have bought from you. This, guys, is one of the best things ever, because at this point, this list is VIP, the most VIP of VIPs. So you're going to market to them in a different way moving forward. Okay, so now on the other side of this beautiful after sales kite, we have nurture. You must work out what your nurture plan is, how you're going to nurture these people and keep them on your list so that they want to buy from you again and again. If you put them into a newsletter, maybe it's a VIP newsletter. If you have sold them a product or service that is a bit confusing and may need a course, make a little course and give it to them. And this also fosters retention. Okay, so just keep these things in play when you're doing your after sales. Plan this out, make it, it's all part of the process, because from here you are going to build, guess what, another product or service. So you're just going to hit the spider diagram again, and you're going to, now after sales number 7, you're going to plan out your next product. Now all the people you have sold to in your after sales number 7 is now on your list of your planning and your strategy and your traffic plan. You're going to use these people here into the space down here as part of your traffic plan, and you're going to market to them. Maybe you send them different emails, different campaigns, because they've already bought from you. You don't need to maybe convince them through a different process over here. So if that makes sense to you, that's understanding how digital marketing works and how you're going to iterate. And then you'll make another product and you'll get more people that you're giving good service to, that you can sell more of the product to. That's marketing in a nutshell, really, isn't it? Okay, so the next slide, I'm just going to let you know. So, guys, that basically, let's just go back there for 1 second. That's the end of this masterclass. Right now, I'm just going to go into a couple of things about me and how you can work with me if you're so inclined and you want to. So, how you can work with me? You can work with me one-on-one, and I will be able to look at your marketing strategy, do a marketing strategy for you, build you a funnel, those kind of things. I can look at an audit. So if you've got an existing digital marketing strategy plan, come to me with it. We sit down with it and I audit it for you and tell you what I think is going wrong with it and how we can make it better, or if we need a new one completely. Done for you is if you come to me and say, okay, I want to sell X, please build me the whole strategy and the funnels and everything. I could just build you the strategy. I could just build you the funnels, and I can build you the automation. I can build you any part of the process. I just did I do that service, so that's done for you. And then I have a done with you service, which is a course I'm busy working on at the moment, which covers each of these 7 aspects of digital marketing in much more detail. And that is something that's going to be coming up. And let me just check if I did this right. So it's going to be called Digital Marketing Simplified. And if you want to know more about that, I have a wait list at the moment for that. So you can sign up, and you can sign up at highlevelqueen.com/home. And at the same place, you will find a calendar where you can book one of these services from me. I really hope that this has helped someone out there to further and more easily understand digital marketing. Have the most wonderful day.